I got monetized this past November. And do you know how big my check was from YouTube? Let's just say that we've got a long way to go on the yellow brick road. But today I'm going to tell you how far and what the plan is to close the gap. So let's get into it. So if you saw the last episode, then you know that I kind of told you that we're not ready to move yet because in order to do so, we need to come up with another income so that Lexi can walk away from her job. But I didn't tell you what number that was because I honestly didn't know what that number was for her to actually come up with. So, and I can tell you that this channel is gonna this channel needs to work in order for this move to happen. But without some action, some math, some actual math, it doesn't really mean much. So we're gonna get into that today. Now I know talking about money makes some people feel uncomfortable, and I understand that. But I mean, you folks seen us broken homeless, so I think that we're way past that on this channel. I think that we're way far beyond that. So we're gonna we're gonna we're gonna lay it out on the line. I've got some numbers that I thought about, and we're gonna go into that. Okay, so here's how I'm thinking about it. In order for this to be a real conversation, we have to replace Lexi's income, and there's only two numbers that really matter. One is what Lexi makes a month at her 9 to 5, and the other one is what we have total in the household in order for that to work. Because in order for Lexi to give up her job, like this has to be like it has to make sense, right? Like we're not about to like she's gonna quit and we'll figure it out. Like we've already went down that rabbit hole and we didn't like the way it turned out. So in order for this, for her to comfortably do so, it's the numbers gotta make sense, right? So you have what Lexi makes a month, which is this, right? And then now the before I get into that, the next part. Now we're not just trying to match this number, right? Because if Lexi gives up her 9 to 5, and she's also giving up benefits, right, and some kind of safety net and security and stuff like that. So we need to have enough money for benefits, right? So like health insurance and stuff like that, savings, emergencies, and a little cushion or whatever. So in order for her to comfortably walk away, I'm thinking that the channel has to make closer to this. Hear me out. I know that number looks huge, right? And people hear me say that I want my channel to make 8 grand a month and they think it's about being rich. It's not. I can care less about buying luxury things. I don't want to buy a Lamborghini. I'm trying to buy my wife's freedom. That's what this is about. I'm sure you're sitting there asking that, the elephant in the room. Well, how the hell close are you to that right now? And I'm going to get into that. I got monetized this past November, which was amazing. Like parts of me probably felt like I'd never get there. And I worked hard for that. But monetization is just the beginning. And I want to show you what the reality is, for a lot of us YouTubers, us content creators, because there are people that, make it seem like you get monetized and then the money just starts rolling in. And that's not, that can be the case for some, but for most of us, that ain't the truth. So here's where we're at. Okay, so right now, the channel is making, in June, I've made $13.14. Um, May 22.51, April 19.15, March 21.70, February 25.65, and January was the most at 32.87. Now, November was kind of skewed because again that I got monetized that month at the beginning of the month. And then December, because of the holidays and stuff, like it really wasn't lucrative. Not that any of this is really lucrative, but that's it. That's where we are a month, because I told you once I got monetized, like I struggled with, you know, what kind of content to make from that point on. And I experimented and I tried a few different things that, and then there were moments where life happened and I didn't put out as much as I'd like to. But so that's where we're at. I know, so I know you. It's not a lot, and I know a lot of you are probably sitting there like, dude, like, so like, I'm basically not making any money. So I've only had since November. I've only had one payout, which I think was like $120, because you need $100 before they even send it to you. And right now, I'm not even close to my next payout. So I might make it at the end of July for another payout. So that's where we're at. It's a lot. It's not a lot. We got a long way to go. And but that's okay, because you know what? Like 2 years ago when we were in that hotel room, I didn't know how I was gonna pay for the room from one day to the other. And we were forced to live in a hotel. But now here in a couple hours, I'm gonna have to pack up my stuff and sit in the parking lot here because I have nowhere else to go. And somehow God made it happen. If you believe that, like somehow God made it happen. Um, it wasn't always the way I expected. It wasn't always the way I envisioned it, but it was always on time. So I'm not in panic mode. I'm in plan mode. So this is where we're at realistically, and like I said, we have a long way to go to making this come to fruition. So, hey, real quick, if you're new here, welcome. You've actually caught this channel at a really good time because we're in the middle of something, and you're not gonna want to miss it. So hit subscribe so that you can catch episode 3, where we break down what it actually costs to live in Puerto Rico. So you're not gonna want to miss that. It's eye-opening. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, so here it is. Here's what I'm thinking. And just keep in mind, I'm no YouTube expert, so I'm figuring this out as I go, like everything else on this channel. But what I do know is that ad revenue alone is not gonna get us there. That's actually probably the slowest road to that number I told you we need. So here's the plan. 1, grow the channel. More subscribers, more views, more watch time. As that grows, ad revenue will grow. And then every video in this Puerto Rico series, every short that lands, that's compound interest. Like it'll all add up. And the cool part is that I kind of feel in my heart that people are gonna want to follow along with this journey. So that's 1. All right, 2, we have brand sponsorships, right? Because right now, but once the audience gets to, once the channel and the audience get to a certain size, they're gonna be companies. They're gonna want to get in front of an audience like ours. People that are rebuilding, people who are planning a big move, people who are living on a budget but making intentional choices. You know, there's that's a real audience, and there's value in an audience like that. So 3 is which Lexi and I are still trying to figure out, which is some kind of product from this channel. We already have a service, which is my coaching service. Which, if you're interested, it's in the description below. But I'm not your typical coach. I don't have a method that says do it my way, this way, or whatever. Like, my job is to help you find your answers, because everybody's situation is unique and different, and I don't think that there's one way to skin a cat. There's multiple ways to skin a cat. So I'm not gonna give you the fish, nor am I gonna teach you how to fish. My job is to help you decide if you're even fishing in the right damn pond. So if that interests you, check out the description below for more details. And if you want to chat, email me below. But so we have that we're trying to figure out, because what I do know is that most sustainable and successful channels have more than one way, more than one income stream that comes off their channel, so that, you know, they're not relying on just one thing. So that's where we're at. We haven't, I don't know what that looks like yet, you know, as far as a product or something. If anybody's got any ideas, I'd love to hear about it below. You know, if you have any suggestions, but I don't know what that looks like yet, but we're still figuring out. But that's the plan. It's not a, you know, detailed 47-step plan. It's just really simple thing. You know, 3 simple things is grow, partner, and build. Those 3 things, one step at a time. Now, here's the thing about all this that I don't think I've said enough. This isn't just my goal. It's also Lexi's. She goes to that job every single day, and she does so because she has to. Because right now we need that income. And she never complains. But I know that she's going every day working towards something. Towards this. Towards Puerto Rico. Towards a life where she's not on somebody else's schedule. And she's had that life taken from her once before. When she was young. When she had to leave Puerto Rico as a kid and go back to New York. And I think about that a lot. You know, she said she didn't want to leave. She said she was happy there. I want to give that back to her. That's really what this is about when you strip everything else away. The channel, the numbers, the plan, it's all in service of that. Getting Lexi back to Puerto Rico, and this time, for good. So every subscriber helps. Every view helps. Because you guys being here, you being invested in this story, that's what builds this thing into something real.